Take control with Aja Nutrition's powerful wellness trio. Berberine Plus supports healthy blood sugar. Blood pressure support helps keep your pressure in check. And Joint Aid keeps your joints moving so you can stay active every day. Don't wait. Choose Aja Nutrition for trusted, effective solutions. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Feel better, move better, live better with Aja Nutrition.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chabonas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry. Premier insurance coverage for less.
Excuse me, sir. Drop this.
Biostrat food supplements for vitality and well-being.
You now reach out.
Time check. Courtesy Alive by Nature's Way. Distributed by H&J Enterprises Limited.
Delayed by a day, Port Authority says Blue Wave Harmony will arrive in Tobago tomorrow. Rural Development Minister dismisses claims of late payments to P&M corporations as political mischief. Another Friday, another double murder, this time in Diego Martin.
Coming up in sport, Team TTO looks to add to their medal tally at the 2026 Pan American Track Cycling Championships.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Doris Polo and this is the Weekend News here on CNC3. Thanks for joining us. In our top story this evening, the MV Blue Wave Harmony has yet to set sail for Scarborough after missing its scheduled 9:30 p.m. departure on Thursday, leaving dozens of truckers stranded at the Port of Spain terminal with cargo already loaded. The Port Authority says the vessel is now expected to arrive in Tobago tomorrow, but cannot confirm whether it will depart tonight. The sailing between Port of Spain and Scarborough typically takes about 7 hours. The delay has deepened concerns over continued disruptions to the cargo service on the sea bridge, with businesses on the island facing yet another setback in the movement of goods. Works and Infrastructure Minister Jerlene John says the situation is not unusual, offering assurances that efforts are underway to stabilize the service.
It is on sea trials. Sea trials mean it is not on a commercial schedule. All right? It's not on a commercial schedule. We say that over and over in press release. You all see that? Because it is on sea trials. We got a boat that just came into the environment, the jurisdiction. So they have to take the time to make sure everybody knows what they're doing. The captain of the boat that came with the boat, he sails with somebody called a marine pilot.
Former Minority Leader Kelvin Morris says he is deeply concerned by the litany of issues since the vessel arrived on January 22nd, but Tobago East MP David Thomas says inconvenience is to be expected when a new vessel is brought into operation.
Those protocols will cause the vessel to be rescheduled from time to time, and it will, of course, cause some inconvenience, but it's not anything that is out of the ordinary. It is what is expected.
The Works Minister says, as a Tobagonian, she too is concerned by dwindling goods on the island, and just a correction, the vessel was expected to depart last night. The Rural Development Minister is pushing back against claims that corporations controlled by the P&M are being paid late. However, the heads of at least 3 P&M-controlled corporations maintain that their subventions have repeatedly been delayed, disrupting operations and payroll. Joshua Simangal reports.
Rural Development and Local Government Minister Khadija Amin denies that several P&M-controlled corporations received late checks from central government, resulting in delayed staff salaries. The minister says it only occurred in the Sawa Laventil Corporation. Communicating via WhatsApp, Minister Amin said it only came to her attention when a worker sent her a memo from the chairman informing staff of the late payment. The minister says she immediately intervened and the permanent secretary rectified the situation the very same day. However, she tells CNC3 News she is, quote, taking note of their mischief, and I condemn the PNM using workers in their political mischief. Delays in releases can happen at any time. It is the duty of the CEO and chairman to bring it to the attention of the permanent secretary and minister in advance, end quote. She then encourages workers to contact her ministry directly with news of what she calls political victimization. But Sour Laventil chairman Richard Walcott says staff salaries should have been paid last Friday, but the corporation received the check late.
To be clear, it will take about 4 days in the bank before salaries can be paid. So I guess some people will not get paid until sometime next week. January, members of council got paid 10 days after payday. Wow. But we made no issue of it. But when it's affected the staff of the corporation, we had to do something about it.
Yeah.
So it happened last month and it happened this month.
Walcott says government has to communicate better, saying the corporation was unfairly faced with protests. Diego Martin Mayor Akelia Glasgow-Warren is also accusing the government of being unpredictable with releases.
At this point, I feel as if this new government, they release money when they feel or when they want. But if I'm being very honest with you, when it comes to our budget, what is allocated is not necessarily what is released.
Chairman of the Tunapuna-Piarco Regional Corporation, Josiah Austin, said his corporation has also been experiencing release issues for some time. But he suggests the source of the delays was the finance ministry.
New workers that were hired the other day for the upkeep program, they waited like a month and a half to be paid, and a lot of them got short pay yesterday.
UNC's Sangre Grande Regional Corporation Chairman Kenwin Phillip and Siparia Mayor Dudnath Meru told CNC3 News that they had no such issues with payment releases. Joshua Simongo, CNC3 News.
Thanks, Joshua. Let's turn now to our People Say question. We went to the streets of Port of Spain and Diego Martin to ask residents how they're managing amid the rising cost of living. Here's what they had to say.
The People Say, brought to you by Excel Health TT, the official supplement of the CPL.
And I'm into construction, and you say down to that sector, it's failure. You know, but I know they're trying and things, but things will pick up in a couple of years, but right now things are really hard, real hard.
It's difficult for me to be living, well, at least my family and stuff, with all the commitments, financial commitments we have, like school, food, bills, and so on. Everything keeps going up, but salaries stay the same.
There are some people, no matter how much money they have, right? They always need something more, right? So you have to learn to make what you have to do.
Right now I'm out of work and can't get work right now, fighting up, you know, and making ends meet is really hard.
Right now I don't have kids, but if I had kids in Trinidad right now, it would be bad. So it could be a lot better, and I hope it does get better.
Right now I'm under pressure with that cost of living because everything double, like the whole country eating doubles right now.
The People Say, brought to you by Excel Health TT, the official supplement of the CPL.
For the second consecutive weekend, a double murder has rocked the country, this time in Bagatelle, Diego Martin. Diego Martin residents Christian Achille and Marcus Best were at Dipsticks Enterprise Auto Body Works around 9 p.m. when a silver Nissan Tida pulled up. Gunmen reportedly exited the vehicle and opened fire on the group gathered at the garage. Achille and Best were shot multiple times. Bagatelle residents wept openly on Saturday as they mourned the men they described as, quote, good soldiers. 53-year-old Achille was a father of 8 and worked as a driver with the Diego Martin Regional Corporation. 31-year-old Best was a father of 2. He was a car wash attendant and a community DJ. Relatives and friends are rejecting police suggestions that the killings may have been gang-related. Police say they have thwarted a planned retaliatory attack linked to last Friday's double murder at Jade caught in Couva after seizing a high-powered rifle during an intelligence-led operation in central Trinidad. Officers attached to the Central Division Gang and Intelligence Unit acted on information that gang members were preparing a reprisal attack following the killings of Devon Toussaint and his ex-girlfriend, Amelia Hernandez. Police say the tip indicated that a high-powered weapon had been hidden inside an abandoned structure along Arena Road in Freeport. Investigators initially set up court surveillance in the area. However, police said the layout of the location made prolonged monitoring difficult. Officers subsequently entered the building where they discovered the rifle wrapped in plastic. No arrests have been announced and investigations are ongoing. A police constable with less than a year's service remains warded in critical condition at the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex in Mount Hope after sustaining serious injuries on the compound of the Sangre Grande police station. Investigators believe the officer either fell or jumped from a height on the eastern side of the station, landing on a parked police vehicle below. He suffered severe injuries to the head and face and has reportedly been unable to speak since the incident. Despite his injuries, the officer managed to walk into the station building where he sat near a bathroom area before being discovered by colleagues and rushed to hospital. It's time now for a break. We'll be right back.
Folks, take a look at all these medical conditions. What does it have in common? This, ITIS. But what does ITIS really mean?
The suffix itis denotes inflammation of a specified organ or tissue.
ITIS really means inflammation. How do we combat chronic inflammation? Through lifestyle changes. Then, and only then, make sure you're getting enough omega-3 fatty acids.
Always consult a qualified medical professional before starting any supplements.
Dress like you mean business. At The Working Woman, we bring you stylish, professional looks made for the modern woman. From casual to formal workwear, we've got your professional wardrobe covered.
The moment my children came into my life, I do everything I can for them to live healthy, enjoyable lives. Nature's Ways Alive Kids Gummies are multivitamin gummies meant to support the development of children's bodies. They come in delicious fruit flavors and contain natural plant-based pectin. This means that if I'm looking for an alternative to animal-based gelatin for personal reasons, they are the best choice for my little ones. Choose Alive Kids Gummies by Nature's Way for your children because they deserve it.
The fact that they ask the questions, those challenging questions that no other media house would ask. To, shed light on those things that are in the dark, those stories that no one else wants to cover.
I grew up reading The Guardian, actually. It's a household name. About The Guardian, one thing that I like, the human interest stories have increased.
See the investigative pieces on the human trafficking. I find that very interesting.
You go more in depth.
On sports, especially local sports, and that's one of my highlights for The Guardian.
Yeah, I've been in Guardian, and The Guardian started coming out, started working. I was a newspaper man.
Could the stories that are being covered are well detailed and you get more facts.
Also, I think the editorials, I think they're doing a good job and they're speaking the truth and, they're challenging the government to make things better. Me in particular,
of recently, the last 2-3 months, I've been reading The Guardian. I'm seeing a lot of news about the neighborhoods and the communities. And I even saw my community featured, and I was proud.
Oh, The Guardian.
The Guardian?
Guardian.
Trinidad Guardian.
The Guardian.
The Guardian.
Trinidad Guardian. The Guardian is my first choice.
Welcome back. The opposition is claiming that economist Dr. Indira Sajiwan's dual role as a central bank director and a newspaper columnist poses a conflict of interest. Appointed to the bank's board in October, Sajiwan has continued to write on subjects including the national budget and the IMF's report. Critics argue such a public commentary could compromise the bank's independence.
Former Finance Minister and Central Bank Director Vishnu Danpal says Dr. Indira Sajiwan's dual role as Central Bank Director and columnist is a massive conflict of interest. Danpal then directed CNC3 News to the bank's corporate governance guideline, which states, in part, that a conflict of interest includes conflicts of duty which arise when a person is required to fulfill two or more roles that may be in conflict with each other. But Dr. Sajiwan denies the conflict, saying that she hasn't nor will she write or comment on central bank matters. On February 16th, Sajiwan wrote a column entitled A Validating IMF Assessment, sharing her thoughts on the IMF's most recent report on TNT's economy. In the article, she was described as an economist and central bank director. She tells CNC3 News she asked the newspaper not to include the fact that she is a central bank board director, but was told it was necessary for transparency. She says she has since asked that a disclaimer be included. Sajiwan also says she's an economist whose expertise extends beyond monetary matters, and her views are her own. She also makes it clear that the central bank's only spokesperson is the governor. Meanwhile, the central bank says its directors may contribute to public discussion on matters related to their expertise in their professional capacities. Further, its senior manager of human resources, industrial and external relations, Nicole Crooks, says, open quote, the bank is satisfied that the appropriate professional lines of distinction in terms of content have been respected. The central bank treats issues of actual and perceived conflict of interest with great care. If this arises, the bank will address it internally, end quote. For more than 2 decades, Sajiwan has provided political and economic comment for local media. She previously served as a Member of Parliament for Caroni East and temporary senator for the UNC. Joshua Simongal, CNC3 News.
You can read Joshua Simongal's reporting on this issue in your Sunday Guardian newspaper, available at all newsstands. While a community emergency response team is currently at the Port Mall in Scarborough trying to extract several vehicles trapped by a fallen tree. TEMA Director Alan Stewart says heavy equipment was requested to help free the vehicles. The tree fell around 5 p.m. and crews were still on the scene close to news time. No one was injured in the incident, but one person was said to have been in their vehicle when the tree fell. It is believed the tree was old. And in an update to a story we first brought to you yesterday, police seized over 102 million TT dollars in high-grade cannabis at Riverside Marina, Kakandi Road, Felicity. One man was arrested in connection with the find. Acting on intelligence, officers from the Central Division conducted a coordinated search around 2 p.m. on Friday. They found the marijuana in the tray of a white Kia truck. It has been described as high-grade Colombian cannabis. Bishop Clyde Harvey, who spent 9 years in the Diocese of St. George's, Grenada, has revealed he openly disagreed with the Pope's appointment of Archbishop Edward Gilbert to this country in 1994. He made the revelation in an interview with Grenada's Good News Catholic Communications as he gets ready to demit office. In a candid interview, the Trinidadian said he was openly critical of the Pope John Paul II's decision in the 1990s, and the Vatican knew.
What you were talking about there were things which I had been told disqualified me from ever becoming a bishop. That the church would never ask somebody to be a bishop who had, when the Archbishop of Port of Spain was appointed, Archbishop Gilbert, I said the Pope had made a mistake.
Why?
Why? Because I knew that there were people in Trinidad who could be Archbishop of Port of Spain. Why are you going to bring in an American?
Harvey also had some stinging words for Catholics, accusing the faithful of not doing enough for the church.
The clarion call must go out to Catholics, because Catholics are too satisfied with the church doing things for them. And they don't have a sense of being called by God and sent to do certain things.
Harvey will demit office in the coming months, though Pope Leo XIV has not selected a replacement bishop just yet. Still to come in sport, four-man TNT bobsled team unable to finish second heat at Winter Olympics.
Recession have you down? Don't lose hope. Head on down to Tire Clinic for the recession deals. That should big savings with our road hazard warranty on Dunlop, Sumitomo, and Falcon tires. Available at Tire Clinic, Cuba, Chaguanas, and Pleasant Park. Tire Clinic, a tire for every need. Call 636-8973 or 636-2958.
Folks, take a look at all these medical conditions. What does it have in common? This, ITIS. But what does ITIS really mean?
The suffix itis denotes inflammation of a specified organ or tissue.
ITIS really means inflammation. How do we combat chronic inflammation? Through lifestyle changes. Then, and only then, make sure you're getting enough omega-3 fatty acids.
Always consult a qualified medical professional before starting any supplements.
The fact that they ask the questions, those challenging questions that no other media house would ask. To, shed light on those things that are in the dark, those stories that no one else wants to cover.
I grew up reading The Guardian, actually. It's a household name. About The Guardian, one thing that I like, the human interest stories have increased.
See the investigative pieces on the human trafficking. I find that very interesting.
You go more in depth.
On sports, especially local sports, and that's one of my highlights for The Guardian.
Yeah, I've been in Ghana since The Guardian started coming out, started working. I was a newspaper man.
Could the stories that are being covered are well detailed and you get more facts.
Also, I think the editorials, I think they're doing a good job on this speaking the truth, and they're challenging the government to make things better. Me in particular,
of recently, the last 2-3 months, I've been reading The Guardian. I'm seeing a lot of news about the neighborhoods and the communities, and I even saw my community featured, and I was proud.
Oh, The Guardian.
The Guardian?
Guardian. Trinidad Guardian.
The Guardian.
The Guardian.
Trinidad Guardian.
The Guardian is my first choice.
Pedaling off tonight's sport, Nicholas Paul sealed the gold medal in the final of the men's match sprint today, his second triumph of the Games, taking the TNT tally to 5 medals. Paul was in scintillating form in the final against Christian Ortega Fontalvo, the same competitor that triumphed over Justine Philippe in the other semi-final. After his stellar ride, Paul credited his victory to relentless training and unwavering support from home.
Well, for me, I didn't really have a long Christmas. So I prepared from December coming into February because I know the Pan Am Championships was early this year. So yeah, full through Christmas I was training. Firstly, I dedicate this victory to God because without Him it wouldn't be possible. Secondly, my family, friends, and all the supporters in Trinidad and Tobago and extension the world.
To the Winter Olympics, where it was disappointment for TNT's four-man bobsled team of Axel Brown, Zaveri Williams, Shaquille John and DeAndre John on the final day at the Milano Cortina Center in Italy. Being the first four-man TNT bobsled team to compete at the Winter Olympic Games, expectations increased when the team delivered a 55.72 time in Heat 1 to finish in 27th position. However, tragedy struck in the following heat when the sled lost its line and came off rhythm, forcing a did not finish for the TNT quartet. The development caused Team Austria not to finish its ride also. Despite the incident, Axel Brown and company emerged unhurt. Football now, just 2 days after a crushing 5-0 CONCACAF defeat to Philadelphia Union, Defense Force responded in style, edging Caledonia 2-1 last night to stay firmly atop the TNT Premier Football League ahead of their crucial return leg in the United States. Rajiv Surat Singh has the highlights.
The heavy loss against Philadelphia left coach Devon Jostling and his Army Coast Guard civilian combination team with little time to recover before returning to domestic duty. However, they responded in the best possible way at the La Joqueta Recreation Ground when TTPFL action resumed. The Mobile Aventil side struck first in the 5th minute through new Guyanese signing Ravi Coates. But Defense Force's experience proved decisive. Jovan Jones found the equalizer in the 24th with a cool finish in the area before former Queen's Royal College and Fatima College forward Philip Nelson netted the winner in the 81st. Nelson is also preparing to represent TNT's under-20 team at the upcoming CONCACAF qualifiers in Costa Rica. The victory keeps Defense Force firmly atop the 12-team standings as the attention now turns back to the international stage with Thursday's return leg in Philadelphia on the horizon. Elsewhere in round 17, AC Port of Spain moved up to 4th on 28 points with a 3-2 win over FC Phoenix, courtesy of goals from Shaquille Holder, Robert Primus and Jelani Peters. Rajiv Surat Singh, CNT3 Sport.
Staying with football, Trinidad and Tobago will kick off their campaign in the CONCACAF Under-20 men's qualifiers on Tuesday with a Group E opener against Bermuda at the Costa Rican Football Federation ground. Head coach Marvin Gordon has named a 21-man squad for the tournament, expressing confidence in the balance of the group as they pursue a place in the 2026 CONCACAF Under-20 Championship. Group E features Costa Rica, Trinidad and Tobago, Bermuda, Barbados, and St. Martin, with only the group winner advancing to the final tournament. Following Tuesday's clash with Bermuda, Trinidad and Tobago will face Barbados on February 26th, St. Martin on March 2nd, and host Costa Rica on March 4th. Women's football now. Trinidad and Tobago's senior women's national team is Panama-bound as preparations intensify for a crucial CONCACAF women's qualifier next month. Several members of the 23-player squad departed today for a 6-day training camp in Panama, where they will link up with the remainder of the team ahead of their Group F clash away to Honduras on March 4th. The training camp forms a key part of the build-up as Trinidad and Tobago continue their journey toward qualification for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup and the 2028 Los Angeles Olympic Games. You're watching the Weekend News here on CNC3. It's time for another break. Stay where you are.
Struggling with blood sugar swings, high blood pressure, or stiff joints? Take control with Aja Nutrition's powerful wellness trio. Berberine Plus supports healthy blood sugar. Blood pressure support helps keep your pressure in check. And Joint Aid keeps your joints moving so you can stay active every day. Don't wait. Choose Aja Nutrition for trusted, effective solutions. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Feel better, move better, live better with Aja Nutrition.
Folks, take a look at all these medical conditions. What does it have in common? This, ITIS. But what does ITIS really mean?
The suffix itis denotes inflammation of a specified organ or tissue.
ITIS really means inflammation. How do we combat chronic inflammation? Through lifestyle changes. Then, and only then, make sure you're getting enough omega-3 fatty acids.
Always consult a qualified medical professional before starting any supplements.
Relatives of two missing St. Lucian fishermen are concerned their loved ones were killed in two U.S. boat strikes in Caribbean waters on February 13th and 16th. According to reports, both men departed Savans Bay on February 11th for routine fishing trips. They were expected home the same day but never returned. St. Lucian Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre confirmed on Monday that his government has not received any official notification detailing what occurred, nor any proof of who were on board.
I can confirm that people lost their lives under circumstances have got no official notification on the circumstances surrounding their death.
A blizzard warning is in effect for parts of the northeast United States as another winter storm is moving in. The blizzard warnings extend from the coasts of Delaware and New Jersey through New York City and into parts of coastal southern New England. The storm will rapidly intensify into a bomb cyclone off the eastern seaboard beginning on Sunday. Some areas could see a foot or more of snow by Monday. Major travel disruptions are expected, including at the major airports in New York City, Philadelphia, and Boston. The Met Office says generally fair, hazy, and at times breezy conditions are expected with brief light showers. A moderate concentration of Saharan dust is present in the atmosphere. Tomorrow's maximum forecast temperature in Trinidad is 31 and 30 degrees Celsius in Tobago. Seas are moderate with waves reaching from 2 meters to 2.5 in open waters and from 1 meter to 1.5 in sheltered areas. Well, from Port of Spain, that's it for the weekend news here on CNC3. On behalf of the rest of the team, have a great night.
You're watching CNC3.
Last week on Westwood Park.
Why do you keep calling us? Who are you? Who the hell are you? You'll pay for this. I'll make you pay for this.
Question is, who's behind Ben Williams and personal pains? This is too big for a little rat like him to take on by himself, man.
Don't look now, but you see that car? That car's the car that followed me last night, I'm sure.
Jonathan, go home to your wife and family, and for God's sakes, don't tell anyone about this, all right?
It's all there. Oh, by the way, our friend Jonathan Dussel is on to us. He broke into one of the files and he is speaking to Roy Sutherland. Don't worry, I'll take care of everything.